There's a lot of news in the world today.
News that might surprise you, startle you, upset, or maybe impress.
News that's not always for the faint of heart.
That's why the man who failed his way to success, Heath, is stepping up.
Tackling today's headlines with ignorance on fire in a way only a millennial mogul can.
Take off your sport coat, grab a beer, and enjoy the conversation.
This is Second Shot with your host, Heath Oaks.
We are here with our first week with the new logo, the new look, the new sound. You know, Zach just sharpening his old voice up and slinging the new terms out there. What's up, man?
Well, same old, same old. How are you? There's something I wanted to ask you about, but maybe we should get through the intro for the show first. I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. We've got a good friend of mine and partner of crime, should I say, Marisol.
Hi, and thank you for having me today.
Marisol.
Finally conned her into coming on.
You did. Yeah, you two know each other. How is that?
Yep. Marisol is my right hand person. She is heads up all the recruiting for all of our territory and has been the number one recruiter in the nation the last 2 years and going for a third back-to-back number one in the country this year.
That's a big job, Marisol.
It is a big job.
Yeah, that sounds really challenging. I appreciate you coming on the show.
Got lucky and got her about 3 years ago.
You've listened to episodes before, right?
I have.
Okay, so you're kind of you know what we're all about. Very cool. Well, for anybody that doesn't know, Second Shot, the show about taking news headlines and taking a second look at them to try to figure out what wisdom we can glean from these crazy things that are happening in our world today. Heath, what do you think of the new intro?
I love it. You kill it, man. You always kill that stuff.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, and I'm sorry about last week, guys. I was laid up death ill sick.
That's what I was going to ask you about. I don't think we've ever missed an episode. And last week you were like, I think I might be dying.
Yeah.
I called him to ask him a question, and I swear I thought he was dying.
Yeah.
She's like, are you, is this really Heath? And I was like, yes, it's me.
I was like, get some rest.
Yeah. I was concerned. I sent you an email and you didn't respond after like 2 hours. I was like, he might be dead. I was really worried.
I honestly, I was awake for like 2 hours all day on Thursday.
That's
it was miserable. I had never, and I kept waking up and I'd tell Jeannie, I'd go, I don't understand. Like, I'm still sleepy. I've just slept all day and I just want to go back to sleep. This is miserable. Like, I'm not good at that. I'm not a good sick person. I'm the one that is the crybaby.
Most men aren't.
Yeah.
Most men aren't. I'm that way. My girlfriend gives me grief every time. Anyway, we got two stories this week. What do you want to start with?
Let's get off with this one.
This one? Okay.
Yeah. Read this headline, Zach. This one is interesting.
Racist comments caught on streaming service results in firing of 2 Forest City radio station employees with video. So we have video of this, which is great. Yes, at a local basketball game, a high school game, at Eagle Grove in Forest City, and I hate to say I don't know where that is. I think it's Indiana. 2 KIOW radio employees made some particularly saucy comments.
They might have thought they were off air.
They might have.
It doesn't matter to say these things, but this is a high school basketball game. Play the clip so y'all can hear some of this audio here at a high school basketball game.
Yeah, here it is.
That's
not it. Okay, yeah.
Zach's got his jams playing on accident.
Thank God for the power of editing. Yeah, you're right. That was America, Sister Golden Hair. Anyway, let's move past that. Here is that clip.
They have a lot of apparently
Espanol
people in Eagle Grove.
Gee, I wonder why that is.
I wonder why.
But the latest there is that they're just going to gradually come into town. Yeah, right.
Yeah, Gradually
Yeah.
work their way in.
Gradually work their way in. So who are these people again?
Yeah, who are they? Oh, you want to know the names?
Yeah.
Enzo Gabarra, Spencer Espigio, and Nicholas Padilla.
Well, they sound like they've been there a while with given the first name.
Yeah, I think they've been there. Padilla, I think it's P-A-D-I-L-L-A.
Yeah, Padilla.
Padilla, something like that.
Yeah.
Then there's Chase Blasi. He sounds like he's not a foreigner. Could be, though.
Yeah.
They're all foreigners.
Exactly, all foreigners.
They ought to, as Trump would say, go back where they came from.
Well, some would say that, yeah.
And then it's just the Espanol people. Like, really, who says that one? That is, I mean, And they were kind of shocked they were fired. I'm surprised. I'm like, really?
Well, which kind of amazes me because you've seen person after person being fired here lately for their truth coming out and so forth. So for someone to think that it's okay to say those things.
You know what you just said? You said a key there, Marisol, is their truth came out. You know, the biggest thing about this story to me is their truth came out. And if you just live your truth, you don't have to worry about it.
Absolutely. I don't think you have to hide behind shadows or whatever it may be. When you're truthful to who you are and you're a good person, it doesn't matter if the mic's on or not. Yeah. And we want to live our truth.
Yeah. It shouldn't matter. It's like, they didn't mean to because they were muted. Well, no, but you really, should you be somebody calling a high school game with that kind of heart,
Not at all.
You know what I mean? Not at all. And it's shocking whenever people worry about stuff coming out. Look, just be your truth. I think what you just said was super, super key, which is being your truth.
Right. We talked about it on, I think, episode 43 a couple weeks ago. You said integrity, and I'm going to paraphrase here.
Yeah.
Integrity is essentially what you do when nobody's looking and there's no reward and there's no consequences. It's just the person you are, like regardless of your social surroundings and what's going on around you. Clearly, these people don't have a lot of that, and that's a shame.
Yep.
Because when the mic's on, whether or not they're aware, I don't know if they're aware of it or not, but clearly there's some things going on that shouldn't be a thing, and that's a shame.
What were your thoughts about that, Marisol?
There's a whole lot of things that I could stem from, but usually it starts at home. I think about kids and you being truthful and you teaching them to seek their truth and be truthful, be kind, or whatever it may be. But that's a reflection of home. And I think that that's society in general. There's these two facades, right? And you can either teach someone to be truthful, be kind, and all those things, or there's the others, right? That they learn those things at school.
I think about those little things as a parent that you don't really think about, but what it sends to your child is there was something I was reading or listening to the other day, and they said it brought this example, and I went, oh my God, you do got to be that careful to that minute of a deal, which is, for instance, if somebody comes to the door that you don't want to talk to, be like, hey, tell them I'm not here. Think about what that, you just told your kid to go to the door and lie.
Yeah.
And so you would think, oh, that's not a big deal. No, it really is. Think about a kid that's learning. They're not developed. They're just told they can lie there.
Absolutely.
Only when it's okay and it fits the minute deal. And I go, oh my God, that's how much you have to pay attention as a parent. And
absolutely.
You as somebody who has a 4-month-old and a 15-year-old, you've kind of been through a lot of it. You were a single mother that raised your 15-year-old for your whole life and toted it all, got your college degree, and has been a successful career woman on top of it all. That you had to be both for your child.
At the time, yeah. So, but I look back and it's like you go, okay, why is my child doing that? And then you have to look at yourself.
Yeah.
I have to own it because it's my truth, and he's a reflection of me.
Versus blaming somebody at the school or any of that.
Comes home to home.
So you take accountability?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow, weird.
All the time.
Parents taking accountability.
See, this
odd.
This is one of those Heath Oaks lessons that I feel like I'm sure you were aware of before you had Brighton, but that's not something I would ever think about. You're absolutely right. When you tell your kid, hey, something as simple as that, it matters.
It
and
does.
when you become a parent, you're so much more acutely aware of all those little finesseties that I don't understand.
Well, and also in being in the world that we're in, that I run across and meet so many people, and I think of the little things that shape stuff. So, for instance, in my book, if you read it, there's a lot around what my dad did and who my dad was that shaped who I was, that by him just living and being who he was, right? And so I think about the simple stuff as far as one of the most important things I remember was, as far as living your truth, was that my dad, if he said, what irritates me is when I see the parents that will go, if you don't stop doing that, we're turning the car around, knowing they're not going to really turn the car around because it would inconvenience the parents, right?
Of course.
But yet the kid's still doing it. So if my dad said, if you don't stop doing that, we're turning the car around, he would turn that car around.
Right.
We have turned around on the way to Six Flags, and I ruined everybody's trip. So think about the lesson you teach a kid. If you say, if you don't stop this, I'm going to do this, and you don't do it, and over, you're telling them, doesn't matter. Everybody say what they want, but you're not going to have any consequences.
No, totally.
But even going back to the story, what that tells me is for so many years, newscasters, politicians have not been held accountable for their actions. They've been able to do what they want, say what they want, and nobody's held them accountable. Nobody's been fired, nobody's been reprimanded, and so forth. But that started with no consequences coming behind it.
Absolutely.
Nobody was held accountable. So,
and it is. That's where we've got to be at today. Is we've got to start. We can't sit here and try to figure out. There's not these things that can fix it overall. It all starts as where Luna is and where Brighton is, of us being parents and teaching them right now. And if every parent and everybody started doing that, the next generations will get a little bit less to where they'll actually be taking more ownership and having more accountability and less entitlement and all of these things that, you know, that type of talk and the hatred and all those things, that's learned as a kid. That's not something that's just ingrained in somebody. So, you know, that example that you are doing and being, what is your truth? Don't you know, you can't sit there, if your kid sits there and watch you be, you know, one thing out in front of everybody else and be totally something else behind the scenes, you don't think that's going to be confusing?
it is going to be confusing. And then they're going to model that same behavior.
Absolutely.
I think it's okay.
So you got to live your truth. I think that if you just focus in going to where if anything starts getting leaked out, you have no worries and no fears because everybody knows you. Everybody knows who you are. Everybody knows your flaws. Everybody, because I ain't perfect, but everybody knows mine. I tell them. I tell all my stuff real quick. I just throw all my junk out there to where you just can't really combat it. So, but just be your truth. Just be okay with admitting the stuff you're not, so that you don't have to worry about it when stuff comes out that, you know, you ain't got to worry about the button under your desk that locks the door for people when they come in. Ain't gonna be popped out of nowhere on you. You know what I mean? Like I have no fear worrying about when those stuff coming out. There ain't no lock under my desk. That's just creepy.
That's for
creepy.
Another segment.
Is that not creepy?
Yeah. Oh, it's creepy.
I don't know anything about
Matt
that.
Lauer had a lock under his desk that when somebody walked in, he'd push the button and lock the door behind him.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
It was like
creepy.
reverse, because normally you have a button under your desk like call security. You
No,
know,
it
hey,
was
get
to
me
lock
out
the
of
door.
here. Yeah, not to lock people in with you.
How creepy is that? What a creepster.
Daniel and
Matt,
the Lion's Den.
Matt, you literally have just, that's disgusting to me, buddy. All right, we're gonna come back to the second segment of Second Shot.
He's a suit and tie kind of guy with deep Southern roots. Heath Oaks hosts more of Second Shot coming up on RNCN.
You guys have been listening to Second Shot and hearing us talk about it. You need to go pick up my book, Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. You can get it on Amazon in a paper book. You can also hear this beautiful voice of mine in audiobook style on Audible or anywhere you're going to get your audiobooks. Guys, this book took a lot of time to put into it, and I believe it can really be some life-changing stuff to help you on your path to success. And hopefully you're going to fail your way to success just like I did. Ignorance on Fire, A Journey of Failing Your Way to Success. Amazon.com, Audible.com, audiobooks, paper books, everything. Get it, share it with your people, and I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. Go pick it up today.
Ready? Aim. Fire. Second Shot is back for another round on RNCN.
All right, welcome back now. We're going to do the second segment of Second Shot, and what is going to be interesting about this one is I about laughed and crying all at the same time reading some of these stories, Marisol. Just so hilarious.
I'm kind of excited.
These are pretty biting, but I get why they're here. I get why we need to talk about them. It's just one of those things, I suppose.
Well, it is because everybody in life wants the big stuff, and they just want it. They want it for nothing. They want it for free. They want it for. There's just so many things out of some of these, and obviously we can't go through all of them. But I mean, I just was reading some of them, like you, Zach, and going, "Wow, that is mind-blowing."
It's true. Everybody wants something for nothing. The story is
the headline:
20 lottery winners who blew the lot, who blew it all, who got the money and ended up running into the ground. Believe it or not, according to this article by MSN, statistics show 70% of lottery winners end up broke, and a third go on to declare bankruptcy. Runaway spending, toxic investments, poor accounting, burns through their lucrative windfall in next to no time, from rags to riches, then back to rags. So I figure for this, we'll talk about a few of these. We'll just, I mention them and see if we have any immediate thoughts. We'll kind of freelance it. First, a Kansas City grandma won $2 million on the Missouri lottery in 2008. Didn't hold on to it for long. A family acquaintance scammed the unfortunate prize winner out of her winnings, leaving her with nothing. The family member was sentenced to 5 years in prison for her crime. But man, $2 million from a family member, like, that is savage.
What were you talking about? You worked at banking.
So I worked in
Yeah.
the banking industry for many years, and it was always funny to me if someone died, people would run in trying to cash in, clear out bank accounts, and so forth. And they wanted to get in before the other family member came in. But I would say money always made people evil, and I always say that to this day. Like if there's money involved, family will fight over $500 if they can.
Right.
This is mind blowing to me.
And something we've talked about before is part of that reason that it does that to you is because you didn't earn it.
Yeah,
right.
for
because
sure.
you didn't have to work for it because it just came so freely. It doesn't have the same weight.
So you think it will? Again, this next one's a pretty funny one too.
Yes, this is a man on the other side of the pond after a Yorkshireman, I should say, bagged a $2.3 million win on the UK National Lottery in 2005. He quit his job along with his wife and binge spent to the max. They snapped up designer clothes, luxury cars, a brand new barn. They went on extravagant vacations in a private jet. Soon enough, of course, the money ran out. It turns out their marriage didn't work out right around the same
weird,
time.
Weird,
How
weird.
odd. Yeah. Their assets had to be sold off to cover their debts, and now the man lives alone in a small cottage on the far side of England. So, what a story.
Yeah, no, I'm reserving some of my comments because I want these like
You wanna
two
get
or
'em
three
all
of
out?
them,
All
a
right.
couple of these in because I got so many that I just want to blow out.
This one is particularly engaging. Britain's youngest lottery winner, 16 years old, was
I didn't
over
know
the
you
moon.
could buy lottery tickets.
Neither did I.
Apparently in Britain the minimum drinking age is 18, and you can buy lottery tickets at 16.
Yeah, that's
so,
just stupid.
Yeah, I don't know what that means, but she was over the moon. She scooped up $2.5 million in 2003 at 16 years old. She was a supermarket checkout girl. She ditched her job, went off the rails splurging on cosmetic surgery, drug-fueled night outs, vacations, and gifts. By 2013, she had blown it all. Then that's the end of her story.
$2,500 left in the bank.
Ooh,
Wow.
2.5 million to 2500.
Yeah.
What a decade, man. 26 years
Man,
old.
you
you're back
lived
at
really
the bottom.
hard during that time frame.
Right, yeah, and again, 26
I'm
years old.
actually
It's
kind
like
of
you
I'm
didn't go to-
surprised she made 2.5 million last that long.
Oh, sure, but it's like she didn't go to university or anything. All of her friends at this point are going to have jobs. They're going to be moving on to careers. What does she have?
Yeah,
Nothing. Yeah,
Absolutely
like
nothing.
you wasted it. You lost it all.
Easy come, easy go. You know, when I look
Easy
back
come,
at
easy go.
Yeah, I look back at it too on the couple that went all crazy all out, and like you said earlier with bank stuff, money makes people go crazy. You know, I always say you never know what you got until money is there and money gone.
And
Yeah.
when you have nothing, I really think
Yep.
when you have nothing is when I think the true essence of your relationship or what those that care and love you will either be around or not.
You know, they always say that obviously the number two issue with all relationships comes down to money.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that? Why does money make everybody lose their mind?
I think from a society perspective, sometimes I think that we're driven around money in
Yeah.
a lot of different ways. Goes back to home.
Oh, yeah.
How you're brought up, right? And
Yeah.
it's the root of all evil.
Well, but that's my thing too. Is like if you have a lot more like your deep why, as I always talk about, going back to your why, you got to have your why strong, grounded. That money's there, or not. And then the other thing too is, you know, like somebody like for me, for instance, you know, you can take my money tomorrow and I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna make it again real fast. You know, because I've learned skills and assets from the rough times. That look, let me tell you something. When you have no fear of cold calling, door knocking, 100% commission, I can always make a living.
Absolutely.
I can always make a living, and I don't care what you say, who you say, what it is. I'm gonna go make me a living. Okay. I love the things that money can buy, and there's a lot of things I love with it all. But money is not my everything at all. Now, I'm not gonna apologize for having a lot of money. I'm not gonna apologizing for that not being a struggle of mine these days at all. Zero. I work my ass off for it. Okay? Not
Right,
gonna
but
apologize.
you just brought something up really key. None of those people worked for it.
Yeah.
So there's no appreciation behind it.
Yep. And what we say all the time, you got to appreciate the struggle because, like in what we do, like here's the funny thing, Zach. When Marisol came on board, she came on board, and in what we do in recruiting, if your story of somebody being through it all, right? Like I can sit down with you and say, come on board me. I've been there and done it. I can tell you exactly. I went from nothing to here. I was 100% commission. I built it up, right?
Yeah, of course.
So you got a lot better chance to believe that, right? Marisol came from a world where she had done recruiting in more of a where they had a base salary and they had some of the other stuff. So coming to this side of recruiting, she had not done that in a full blown 100% commission. And so it took about 6-7 months for her to really get her brain right. And I'll never forget the day when it really started clicking, when I could really see like her light like go off in a way. Tell them kind of what that happened with you. What was that turning point?
It was watching somebody come in to start from nothing to have success.
Because you were still questioning, right?
Like I was still questioning. Like I didn't believe it because
Right.
I hadn't really seen it. But it was me seeing somebody come in from nothing to believe in what we do, to start making money and start changing their life. For me, that was a game changer because then I could really believe in what I was doing. Now 3 years into it, all day, every day, I light up talking about what we do because I've seen the career opportunity change people's lives. And to me, I think it even drives it back home. I enjoy working hard, right? Every dollar I make, I'm proud of it. I'm proud of what I can give my family. Even when I had my daughter 4 months back, I was 23 years old and a single mom when I had my son, so I depended on my family a lot. This time around, I was so excited to be able to give my daughter everything. I got to design her nursery. I didn't really want any help from anyone else because I earned it.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the difference between when you earn something and when something is given to you.
You don't just blow it out as fast either.
No.
Right.
No.
You save a whole lot more and you become much. I mean, I did the redneck dumb thing. When I first made my first check, I blew every penny of it, and I ended up having to sell everything off. And I learned at 19, 20 years old, luckily, that, okay, that doesn't come and go as easy. Just not do that again.
Yeah.
I worked too hard to get that. And, when you go back through with that why of it all and what you're earning and what you're really putting out, it was like with Marisol, she could sit there and she, not that she just didn't believe it, she just didn't have that full off conviction because, yeah, she knew my story, but she was staring, when we met, she was staring at somebody that was, 27 years old that had a very, then at that point I was in those very expensive suits, cars, like it was hard to see me in her eyes as that person that started at 19. So until she personally brought that person in and watched them go from nothing, literally no shot at life at really much of anything because nobody do it to them, to where then they're calling Marisol going, I bought me a new car today, and they were just crying. They were so happy. Marisol went, oh my God, I've seen this now with my own eyes. It changes.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer. And that's when you think about it with these lottery and stuff. That couple obviously had no true deep love and connection. Like my wife and I have so much more beyond anything monetary, anything else. We're not infatuated with each other's type of career. It's infatuated with each other, not the other circumstances around it. And that's one of the biggest things I think that's got to come into play. That couple would have been divorced at some point or another. Yeah. They just really kind of escalated it by giving them a feel over that. And then you take a kid at 16 that's just handed everything there is. That's why, I always joke because my buddy Ty's like, I'm gonna have to make sure my son marries Bryden so she can, so he can inherit everything with her. I go, look, Bryden ain't getting jack. I go, when I leave this world, that stuff's gone. I'm spending it on my way out.
The Jackie Chan approach, like no, she's not. Yeah, no, she's got to earn it.
That's my money. That's my money.
Well, think about how many businesses that they're real big successful businesses, and then they hand it off, right? It goes down to their son or daughter, and then it usually spirals out of control and goes into bankruptcy, depending on how they were raised.
Right. Yeah.
But so many times you see that, right? And the dad or mom, they're probably turning in their grave because they worked so stinking hard to build their brand.
Yeah. But that thing is, I'm going to tell you, it ain't Bryden's money. That's my money. That's mine and Jenny's money.
She's got a loan until she's 18.
She's got to she has to go get to work and make her own.
Yeah.
On my way out, that money's going to go to, there ain't going to be nothing to fight over when I'm gone. I can tell you, because it'll all to be gone. Whether it's gone to charities, whether it's gone to anything like that, it's gone.
Yeah.
I ain't leaving it for nobody.
All right.
I just ain't. I'm out.
Well, that's a strong ideology to have. And besides, she doesn't need the money. She's got you as a dad, and that's invaluable. She got all the advice she'll ever need on how to succeed.
She's going to be selling lemonade at 5 years old on the side of the road and making her money from day one. Yeah. I can promise you that. So, here's the good thing is, you got to earn it. If you earn it, then you're going to appreciate it a lot more. And you got to find that deeper why of what it is, either with the person you're with or the other circumstances, to really know that there's so much more than what monetary or anything like that. You've got to find that deeper connection and don't get infatuated with the small little things. So we'll be right back. We got a pretty good little email. You got some good little questions here on the third segment. The second shot coming right back up.
Now that's what I call ignorance on fire. More of Second Shot with Heath Oaks still to come.
Hear ye, hear ye. Great news for all of you guys. Colonial Life is hiring some salespeople from all over the country. No matter where you are in the United States of America, if you're looking for a sales career, if you want to just learn more about what Colonial Life does, send an email to mbeltran@coloniallife.com. mbeltran@coloniallife.com. We'll get you set up with the right people you need to talk to and see if you're going to win that job. If you're in the Metroplex area, great. If you're in St. Louis, great. We're going to have office there for you. mbeltran@coloniallife.com and change your career today.
Kick off your boots or suit up. The choice is yours. Welcome back to Second Shot on RNCN.
I can't help it. I'm about to die over here because Zach is getting freaked out by the elf on the shelf.
All right, yeah, the elf on the shelf. We're gonna bring this in.
Yes, we are.
So for another show that we're doing, we do a parenting show, and we're gonna talk about today the elf on the shelf. And yeah, so it's kind of just here, hanging out outside, and like
it's like creepy.
Bugs me, man. It's got those spindly legs and.
Did y'all have one of those Chucky dolls as a kid?
No.
I never did. Did you?
I did.
It seems like something Heath Oaks would have for some reason. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Did you used to scare people with it?
No, it was it was a cool doll. It wasn't like a Chucky, like it was, like it was the doll like itself. And then Chucky came out, and then everybody was scared of it.
Right. In the movie, a doll is possessed by the solar. So
and
you
it was
just had
that
the
doll.
Right.
Not like the Chucky doll.
It
was
was
that
on
doll
it or anything.
Yeah,
It
no.
didn't have like a
It was the doll.
It was just the doll. That's kind of a cool
like
piece
how bad
of merch,
would that?
honestly.
Yeah, how bad would that suck to be the company that was creating this beautiful little doll, and then they decided to come out with a movie that this doll turns into Chucky.
Yeah.
That basically just kills it.
Destroyed it.
Yeah.
You're destroyed at
You're
that moment.
toast. Yeah, that's why you don't see any movies about like possessed Pepsi cans or Coca-Cola or anything.
Possessed Pepsi and cola coming out at you.
You know, honestly, Hollywood's doing some wacky stuff
Anybody
lately.
tell me this.
Yes.
Anybody y'all like scary movies?
No, I hate them.
I get
Matt,
it.
you like scary movies?
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. I got you.
Matt,
There we
Matt.
go.
Yeah.
You like scary movies?
Yes, big time.
I hate scary movies.
Do you really?
Why?
Yeah.
Why do you not like them? Do you not like
they
the,
scare me. I don't like to be scared.
You don't like the tension of it? Or?
No, I don't like to be scared. It
thrill
scares
of the
the hell
hunt.
out of me.
Yeah.
I don't like being scared either, so I stay
Do any of
clear.
y'all have what's those movies that did you have that movie as a kid you watch or anything that's one of those ingrained to terrify
Okay,
you?
the funny thing is
man.
I used to hide from the Michael Jackson Thriller video. I don't laugh
Really?
at
That's
that
a creepy video. It's a
It
creepy
was
video.
creepy to me as a kid.
That's funny.
Sure, Thriller's good stuff. Mine was when I was a kid. I don't know why my parents let me watch this. I don't know if they forgot or what. Raiders of the Lost Ark. That movie was so cool when I was a kid. Indiana Jones, and then you get to the end with like the face melting Nazi scene, and
I
like
do remember
that was
that.
burned
Pretty
into my
intense for a child,
retinas.
yeah.
Yeah, like oh man, that messed me up bad.
Well, so yeah, one of the I saw the Last Crusade, and so there's that part at the end where the guy drinks from the
course.
wrong grail, and he just turns into like an old skeleton
yeah, like
right
the
before
stop
your eyes.
motion
Yeah.
aging
It was
thing.
terrifying. It was so scary.
I did not sleep for a week after watching Freddy Krueger.
Oh man,
Oh, that
Nightmare
used to
on
be on
Elm
Street.
Street. That was
I
classic.
didn't sleep for a week. I was scared to death to go to sleep
Sure.
because
That-
he comes at you in the dreams.
Yeah,
right?
just like Jaws in the ocean, Spielberg's Jaws, like Freddy Krueger and sleeping was like
God.
the worst.
Freddy
Yeah.
Krueger was horrible.
Even when you used to hear the intro song.
Oh, it's just
It was horrible.
Yeah, see, I don't watch scary movies. My wife and I both 100% agree and hate scary movies, so we don't have that issue.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No Halloween traditions.
Nope.
You know.
Nope. We got we got an
sir.
email. This is the third segment where we typically will take emails, right, Marisol, and from anybody. And so secondshotcast@gmail.com. Whether you have a general question, whether you have a topic, whether you have a headline you saw that you would like us to look at, whatever, send it secondshotcast@gmail.com, and we're going to address them on there. So we got an email from a David Rolu. Is that how you pronounce that, you think?
David Rouleau.
David
That's
Rouleau.
how I'd go for it.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry,
Zach
David.
is smarter than me, so he's probably right.
I
so,
don't know.
The email, Chad and Heath, I've been listening to some of your podcasts for the last 2 days, and I'm currently listening to number 9. I was wondering what you thought on the topic of revenge, and if you believe that it can be morally justified. I had to write an essay on this question on Friday of last week. When I started, I thought it could be morally justified, but as I was finishing the essay, I changed my mind. I changed my mind because the question all depends on your own morals. So I wanted to know what y'all could give me your thoughts on that.
See, this is interesting. I think in 44 episodes, I don't know if we've ever covered revenge.
I don't either.
I can't think of a single instance when we were like getting back at people.
Yeah, we need to.
Well,
we need to come up with something.
Go ahead. Yeah, what do you got, Heath?
But I was wondering what you thought on the topic of revenge, and if you believe that revenge can be morally justified. And I had to write an essay. He had to write an essay on it. Okay, and so when he started, he thought that it could not be morally justified, but he thought he might change his mind at the end. What's your thoughts?
For me, maybe when I was younger.
Yeah.
Revenge probably. More immature. As I've grown, I think I've learned to take the high road. I think the universe kind of takes care of itself.
Yeah.
And when someone's evil and continues doing evil by someone, I think eventually things kind of take care of themselves.
Well, and I think about revenge in a lot of ways, right? What if revenge is just you, like, being personally a very successful person, and that person having to watch you and see you, not doing anything toward them? That could be revenge, but you didn't mean it to be, right?
Absolutely.
So going to this question of can it be morally justified, I mean, now, did you intend to do that or not? I don't know. I believe that spending any time of your life focusing on having anger or ill thoughts toward anybody else is the worst way to live your life in general, whether it's revenge or whether it's not. Whether it can be morally justified, I'm a man of faith, David, so I got to go back to that I'm not going to say I was always perfect at this and made the right decision, but I will tell you that God says turn the other cheek, okay? And doing right all the time. So I don't believe that intentionally going after revenge of somebody can really be morally justified. Now, your own morals do matter, and that does depend. So when you said, it depends on your own morals, that's true. It really is. Because if your own morals are something different than others, you may not have the faith I have, right? So you may have faith in something else or someone else or something else. It's, whatever you want to do. So your faith may tell you something else. So my own morals, I believe there's one faith to have, but I understand other people have theirs. So I don't judge them on it. So with my faith, it says, something else.
I think it's easy to be vindictive, especially in, I don't know, today. Part of the reason we do this show is because of crazy news headlines and kind of where the state of the world today. It's easy to be negative, but to borrow a term from a much bigger metaphor, I really do believe kind of violence begets violence. Negativity begets negativity. Like if you get down in the mud with everybody else, you're just going to be just as bad as they are. And so I think you can personally justify revenge. I don't know if you can morally justify it, and that's what it is. Morals are a higher set of standards, and when you take the high road, you live by those. Mm-hmm. And when you're going for revenge and you're fighting back, man, I don't know, but
I don't think anything good can come out of it. Like anything
exactly,
you spin and continue to put negative energy into, like there's nothing great that's going to come of it.
Right. What is success without integrity? What is being right without integrity?
The definition of moral. A lesson, especially one concerning what is right or prudent, that can be derived from a story, a piece of information, or an experience. So he's kind of right there. You can have different morals. People can have different, what they believe is morally justified or not. And so I understand what you're saying, David, is that there can be a little bit of, depending on who there is. I will say that I fully believe spending any time having revenge or anything in my faith and where I come from is not right. That's, and just, you're driving yourself crazy. All you're doing is wasting time being happy yourself because you're focusing on somebody else.
Right. Fuel the energy to do something more positive in another direction.
Absolutely.
Versus looking back, trying to be negative and gaining some type of revenge.
And the other thing is, the majority of people are going to go after revenge. The majority of people are going to say, what's the principle of it? And you know how I love that. I hate it. I love it when people go, it's a principle of it. I just want to it drives me nuts.
Sure.
But all that is them trying to justify their revenge. Basically, that's going to be, and then they sit there and spend time focusing on that when they could be focusing on themselves moving along.
Growth.
It's like all you do is hurt yourself. You sit there focusing on revenge and spending all your time and energy and your emotional state and everything. That person ain't thinking about it. No. So who's losing?
You do all day, every day.
You lose.
Right, and a big part of this is exactly what you said, Marisol. That, like, the universe seems to, at least in my experience, maybe in yours, maybe in Heath's, like, it just seems to kind of have a way of working itself out. Does it suck when somebody cuts you off in traffic? Absolutely. Maybe at the end they'll get theirs, man. Like, just let it go. You know, it's not worth the energy to,
and if they
to deal
didn't,
with that.
I would rather just believe and have hope that what goes around comes around, and I'm gonna do my best. And you know what? People have bad days. You know, show kindness and compassion.
Right, because you don't know what just happened 5 minutes
don't know.
before they had that interaction.
Right.
You have no idea. Like no matter if it is the waiter or waitress that I have is doing good or not. You know, I waited tables for a long time. If they're really kind of in a bad mood, I usually tip them even more, just because I know that there's something else going on with them, right? And like, why not show them a little love where other people don't? Like, when you show love and compassion versus the other, you're the minority. And I tell people, unfortunately, in today's world, when you do the right thing and you show some love and compassion, and you show an open-mindedness of wanting to learn and listen to the other side instead of being ignorant and doing all the other things, you're the minority. When you learn to not follow the pack and get in the mud with everybody else, you're going to stand above it all. People will see you. People will notice you. You will get the opportunities. You will get all of those things. Whether you take all those opportunities or not, doesn't matter. You will start being seen because you do things differently. Do you agree?
Goes back to the good energy.
Yeah.
Good vibes you're putting in the universe, right?
Definitely.
And it is. And that makes the most massive difference in the world, is wholeheartedly whenever it is. I don't believe in the revenge, and I don't seek negative for people. At a time in my life, I did, and I would have went after revenge hardcore. I'm young, but I mean really young then. But I'm gonna tell you, I believe that they're the people that can morally justify it are the people that could justify anything they do. You know, right? I mean, like if you can morally justify revenge, you are going to be able to justify anything. You're that person that it's always the blame game on everybody else.
Always going to find an excuse.
Always going to be an excuse. The quicker you're reading the book Extreme Ownership,
I am.
right? And when you start taking extreme ownership, your life changes.
It does, because if there's a failure, you take it back on yourself.
Yeah.
Always.
You're not going to let somebody else have control of your life.
Absolutely.
It's always easier to find the issue within you than it is others, and taking that extreme ownership. And I think that you can always morally justify anything if you want to, but don't let others kind of run it. And there's no sense to waste the time after others. Focus on you and your happiness and others around you, and everything gets better. You know? Where can everybody find you at, Marisol?
They can find me work-wise. They can find me at mbeltran@coloniallife.com.
What about social media?
Social media. Marisol Beltran, Talent Finder on LinkedIn. Marisol Beltran on Facebook. And then at Everyday is Great on Instagram.
Okay, sweet. And Ignorance on Fire or at Heath Oaks, as always. And remember, leave us a rating and review. It helps everybody find us, guys. Share this with your friends and family. You know, we're going to have these episodes around Christmas time and coming back at it, and excited for the first of the year. We're going to have some pretty cool people on the show as well coming up at the first of the year, and coming into February to where we're going to celebrate our 1-year anniversary. Some really exciting stuff that hopefully we're going to pull up around then. So at Heath Oaks or at Ignorance on Fire, secondshotcast@gmail.com. And I love you guys, and I appreciate it. And until next time, we'll see you on Second Shot.
You're listening to RNCN, the digital destination for premium talk radio.